Hey YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, whoever's watching this video, I'm Rico Knows, and I pick fights. Before we get into the card, I want to talk about last week's card. Everybody's celebrating how many things they got right. I was obviously 8 out of 10 on the parlays, and all of our locks hit. It's a great rebound after UFC 304's debacle and missing 2 locks. The week before that, though, if you go back and look, we did something remarkable. Went 9-2 on the card, and I hit on 5 different underdogs. It's really difficult to predict underdogs. And so when I see everybody got the card right last week, I'm not that impressed because all the favorites won. It went chalk. The only underdog that hit was Sam Hughes. We missed on that. Everything else was chalk. So, of course, you got it right. But there are times when I'm really proud of the card, and it's when we see value in the underdog, and I say, guys, Vegas got it wrong. Okay, that's when we feel really good. Nonetheless, went and had a good card last week. So let's talk about this week. We only have about 9 or 10 fights on the card this week, and it's the first fight of the night. It's an early prelim fight, and it's a female fight. And I know a lot of you MVPs don't bet on the female fights. You guys say, the hell with it, we're not going there. Some of you guys think it's going the distance. They always parlay the distance. But in this particular fight, I need to talk about it. These 2 women have already fought one another. They're in the picture below. If you see that picture down here below me. By the way, this picture does not do them justice. Luciano is a beautiful woman. Luciano is a beautiful girl. And Alencar, I'm just not a fan of her. I get it. I think Alencar, we're going to start with Alencar first. If we talk about Talita Alencar, she is being pushed by the UFC. She is somebody they want to be great. They want to see her do well. She had 3 wins initially, rear naked choke, and then she went to a decision unanimous, and then there's the draw. And these 2 women fought to a draw on the Contender Series. You can see the fight on ESPN Plus if you want to go back and watch it. And what you're going to see is Alencar wins the first 2 rounds. She does. She wins the first 2 rounds because she has an advantage on the ground in jiu-jitsu. And it's apparent. She's a gi and a no gi. That's the little uniform they wear, right? I'm a martial arts instructor. I've been training martial arts for 20 years. And I want to tell you guys the worst thing, I don't like gis personally. I train hand-to-hand combat in the military as well. We talk about fighting with whatever you're wearing. I don't have time to put on a costume to fight you. But I understand competitions, they want to be equivalent, and you get to use this uniform. But she's a champ in gi and no gi. World champion at jiu-jitsu. And it shows. She's got great grappling. But she can't strike to save her life. Her gas tank is 0. She is worthless when it comes to a 3-round fight. And I think that she's a poor man's Mackenzie Dern. I think that she has no ability to really get a takedown. And it showed in her last 2 fights. Remember, she's fought since the draw. She fought Dos Santos down here, Rayan Dos Santos. If you go back and watch that fight, she went 1 for 9 on takedowns. And in the draw against Luciano, I think, and I don't misquote me, but it might be like 4 for 24 or something. Let me go double check the stats here. She was 4 for 24 in takedowns. 4 for 24. Do you know how terrible you have to be to shoot 24 takedowns in a fight? And only land 4 of them? You are atrocious. And I'm going to tell you, Luciano's takedown defense isn't all that great. She does know how to sprawl, which is great. She gets her hips back, gets it down. But she throws this front knee that keeps getting picked up, and it gets snatched on takedown. But Alencar is a fish out of water when it comes to standing. And more importantly, she pulls guard. She's a jiu-jitsu nerd. They call her the problem child. She pulls guard all day. She's tiny, bro. She's 5'1", 115. I think she has 0 chance of finishing this fight. There is a chance she could win the fight by points if she's dominant for 2 rounds and they give her 2 rounds to 1. If she gets a takedown, she is problematic. But I'm telling you, she was the favorite on that prelim fight. She was the favorite by I think it was 190 or something, minus 190 in that fight. Contender Series. They don't have the odds here. But if you go watch it, you'll see she was the favorite in this fight. They wanted her to win it. She's a world champion in jiu-jitsu. They were showcasing her. And all you have over here is Luciano, who was a former flyweight champ or whatever fight in jungle fighting. A jungle fight right here. You see it? And what's important about this is she was the champ. Go back and watch this fight. Go find this fight at Jungle Fight 112. She's fighting Karina Ariande, and Karina is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Ain't no problem. This girl is born and raised in Brazil. She trains in jiu-jitsu. She might not be the world champion in jiu-jitsu, but you ain't tapping her out. She ain't getting subbed, man, and she's raw. I'm telling you, she's a complete fighter. Stephanie Luciano comes to bang, and she got the draw with a 10-8 third round. 10-8, went out there and dominated. I'm talking about just throw them things. Let's go. She's a gangster, man. I'm telling you, there's no way I cannot believe in Stephanie Luciano. And she hasn't gotten another fight since the draw. For whatever reason, she hasn't gotten another fight since the draw. UFC tried to showcase Alencar. And she got a split decision victory over Luciano, and it was gross. It was gross. It's boring. She brings nothing to the table. She ain't a real scrapper. She's a jiu-jitsu nerd who's just rolling around. And if she can't get the takedown and can't get the sub, she can't do it. She got small arms. So let's talk about her sub options. Her only option on a submission would be a rear naked choke. She can't do arm triangles. She can't get an arm bar or a triangle. Like, she just doesn't have the appendages for it. I don't know who she's beating and who she beat. I mean, I don't know what the competition's like. But when I watch her, she just doesn't look like a good grappler. She doesn't have the right physique for it. She didn't hit the genetic lottery. And when she tries to get Stephanie Luciano, I mean, at one point, she's got Stephanie's back. You're world class. You're one of the best of all time and all this shit. You have her back in a body triangle, of all things. And you still give up the position. I'm telling you, Luciano fights the way I would coach someone to fight. When someone's on your back, she didn't initially attack the hooks, but she still was able to turn her entire body around, like spin into your opponent. And now you're in their guard, and you can tripod up and just start making it rain. I think Luciano is enjoyable to the judges. She's like enjoyable to watch. She's pleasant to the eye. Her fighting style is very conducive to scorecards or to judges who want to score a fight. Like, if you watched her fight this girl or any girl, you'd be like, oh, she's winning the fight. Oh, she put more damage out. She beats her up more. Now, it is an early prelim fight, and we are notorious for seeing people go out there and lay an egg. I understand that. So if you don't want to vote, you don't want to bet on it, more power to you. But I think Luciano is so far superior in fitness and in natural athletic ability that she's going to win this fight. She can just fight takedowns, sprawl great. She's not out of, like, let me say this. If your strength is jiu-jitsu and the gap in jiu-jitsu ability is like this versus Luciano's strength is striking. She's a black belt in Muay Thai. And the gap in striking is astronomical. Like, it's not even comparable. Luciano's a beast. I really like this girl. Shout out to the, the odds? She's now a minus 170 favorite. Imagine being like an underdog in the last fight. Now you're a minus 170 favorite. You got to take it. I'm taking Luciano to win this fight, and I don't know if it goes the distance. I want to be very clear on that. I have no clue if it goes the distance because I feel like Alencar, the minute she can't get a takedown, guys, she starts panicking, and she has no cardio. So the minute you stuff her takedowns, what does she have? Like, what does she bring to the table? I see absolutely nothing. Absolutely not. I'm not impressed with it. The best she can do is get a takedown and lay and pray in the mount. That's the best I see. I see Luciano, she uses her appendages well. She uses like her long legs. She'll fight you off. She'll up kick you. She'll get out of a position that's a problem. She's she's rolled for, what is it now? 5 rounds with a black belt last time, 3 rounds with this black belt, 8 rounds with the best jiu-jitsu people around, and she ain't been tapped one, not even close to being tapped. No, she's competitive. And then on the feet, she's just a monster. On the feet, she's way better than these people. So I got to go with Stephanie Luciano, and I'm putting it as a lock. Now, whether you want to parlay that, that's on you. But I think it's a lock, and I think I'm going to go Luciano by points. I'm saying it verbally. I'm not putting it on the card. I can't go there. I think there's a chance Luciano can get a TKO. just by pummeling this girl. I'm telling you, Alencar is going to be exhausted come the third round. Like, nothing left. She can scramble a little bit. She can wrestle. She can do some things, but she'll have nothing left. She's a little muscle-bound monster, and the lactic acid is real. She reminds me of, who was it? Makayev 2 cards ago? Not Belil Muhammad. Well, Umar, but without the punching ability. Who got cut after going? Who was it? Makayev, right? Who just won the fight and they threw him on the prelim? Yeah, Muhammad Makayev. That's what she reminds me of, without the ability to really strike. Without the ability to get takedowns. Like, she tries to wrestle like crazy, and if she can't get the takedown, she's going to lose. And at some point, Stephanie Luciano is going to come out in the third. I watched this girl. Let me tell you guys this. Let me rephrase. Let me step back. I watched Talita Alencar not want to get up. Let me explain. She's on the ground, on her butt. Stephanie standing, Luciano standing, kicking her legs. They separate. Herzog, the ref, says, hey, stand up, get on your feet. And Alencar thinks, I'm just going to scoop my butt a little bit more and just stay down here in a pulling guard position, like a jiu-jitsu competition. She doesn't even want to stand on her feet. And they're like, hey, you got to get up. We're letting you up so you can get back to fighting. Remember, every round starts on your feet. This is the worst place for her to be. She is relentless with wrestling, but the minute she can't get the takedowns, I think she sucks. I can't believe in her. I can't bet on her. I can't call it like that at all. Give me Stephanie Luciano to get this done. Please don't ruin your whole night by parlaying this with all the other locks if you don't feel comfortable with it. You guys, I see so many MVPs write to me and go, oh, my night is ruined after one result. Round robbing your picks, protect yourself, diversify. No single result on any card should ruin your entire night. Please manage your units. That's on you. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Please become an MVP. You'll see the rest of the picks.